I got like my major like full-time gig, and then I got that role through LinkedIn. I didn't stop posting, honestly, but I was not just posting something randomly. So the man reached out to me on LinkedIn. I checked if he followed me. He's not, we've never connected before. He has never liked any of my posts. And he said that if I'm open for a full-time role, that the job is mine.
So good. Can you unmute your mic and also let's see your face? Put on your camera and version of Professor Missy. She'll I call.
Okay.
So what can I say about her? She is going to introduce herself. She's a wonderful lady, a tech guru, an international and local gig lander. Let me use that English, please. I'm cooking up my own English here. Well, she has an agri background, but however, she switched into tech and she's doing greatly for herself. So currently on her master's. I don't know if you want to love that with this. I think she will tell you a lot about herself. I don't want to. And let me know at the one. I wanted to add that marital status, but let me leave that out of the picture. In case of me want to shoot shots, yeah, and someone want to gun me too. Let's dive into the main thing. So let me. I know you do. You're not planning to share your screen. I'll just leave this on my screen, but I will allow you speak. Can you just introduce yourself to us? Tell
Um,
us a little about yourself, more than I've said earlier. Is she married? Somebody's already asking.
I'll, I would answer that. Good evening.
You answered that. Go
Good
ahead.
evening, everyone. So, okay, I'm shy, but let's just get on with it. So, my name is Shion Hannah Moses, and I'm a UI/UX designer in the tech industry. My background, I have a BSc in agriculture, and how I find my way in tech, I'll just dive into that later. But I have a BSc in agriculture from University of Ilorin, and yeah, I'm currently running my masters in Rome Business School. I'm taking international masters in project management at the moment. So yes, am I married? No, I'm single, but I'm single. Yeah,
You're ready to mingle.
and I'm not ready to mingle. I'm single, but I'm not ready to mingle.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in the tech world for close to 2 years now. No, let's just say 2 years and some months.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I started UI UX in 2023. Yes, when I was about going for by NYSC. So yeah, diving into UI UX, my journey was kind of like funny. It was kind of like a coincidence how I started actually.
Mm.
But yeah, so I started UI UX through a friend, and let me just say like they use show that they say curiosity made me ask.
Mm.
Actually, curiosity made me ask. So I was going to a supervisor office with a friend, and then when we got to his office, he was just asking us, that was during my final year, that what are we doing with our life and all of those questions, weird questions. So my friend that we're under the same supervisor, she started talking about, oh, she's in the tech world and she's doing this, she's doing that. And me that I have no idea about anything in tech, honestly. And basically, the only thing I know how to do is just to press my laptop, watch Netflix, and then just that's all. So when she started explaining herself, I got curious. So I asked her about, oh, what does she do in tech? What is tech all about? What are the things that you can get to do in tech? So she just said I should go ahead and do my research, right? Just search around on the net and see, okay, what are the things that I can get to do in tech? So when I got home that day, I started doing my personal research. Oh, okay, there are certain areas of tech, UI, UX, you can be a front end, you can be going into data analysis. Like I had to separate those sections and then really do like a deep diving in and research about okay, which one can I really do. So I found one interesting, which is design. So I decided to go into UI design. So that's like my background and how I got into tech.
Wow, thank you very much. So I love the flow here. It's like you're following what I have because I have a lot of questions written down for you, and don't worry, it's and a lot of people will be able to ask their questions. You know, the whole idea people wonder, I'm in tech, data, and then we're talking about designs. The whole idea is that people started from places they didn't plan, or how they didn't even plan it, they don't know. And you're doing the same thing, perhaps. So, and then the space is also interwoven in a way. You see, the whole idea is to solve problems for businesses, isn't it? Data
Yeah.
analysis or data analyst, we are the back end trying to take the data to, to find solutions to the problems. You are
Mhm.
also trying to design, the interface of the business or whatever it is they have for them to be able to, use the have very well and approach the business, which is all the whole thing we are doing is also make the business better at the end of the day, which is the reason why businesses exist anyway, to make profit. So the next question, I would like to ask you because you've talked about your background, how you got into UI US. Can you share some of your struggles, in the early days when you started, and now you were able to stay motivated to the point where you were able to break through the barrier and land your first gig? Don't talk about your first gig yet, but yeah, let's talk about your struggles and your challenges because people can learn from that. I say to people, when we decide that we want to learn, we don't usually imagine the level of difficulties that would accompany that decision to learn. And that the moment you make up your mind to change your status, trust me, the world will fight back. Okay? The world will fight back. And they said disruption follows intention. What that means is once you have decided that you want to do something, you have made up your mind and you have the intention to, trust me, disruption must happen. Okay? Something
Mhm.
must want to obstruct you. That's when you say, when you save money, you can tell that somebody will come out of the blues and say, borrow me this money. Then grandma in the village will swallow razor blade. And you'd be like, how now? Is it that? So take us through your own, journey in that sense. What were the struggles in the early days? And how did you stay motivated to the point where you crossed them and you are here today?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Okay. So getting into UI UX, right, it was something totally new to me, honestly, right? I just know that all I knew that time was website existed, mobile app existed. How they came to be, I don't know. So diving into it was totally new to me. So, but I'll say generally, when people are going into something very new for the first time, right, and then they kind of meet people that have been in that space for a very long time, I will say that one of the things that almost everybody struggle with is imposter syndrome. And I'm not going to lie that I really, really struggled with that, right? Because coming into the design world, I see people that are like far better than I am, that are into this, that have been into it for a very long time. And then when I see the things they post, when I see how they are hitting the social media hard, and then I'm like, okay, this is my level right now. And then all of these things that I'm doing is really getting to me that, oh, what am I going to do? How do I do this? And I was so in a haste to want to do everything fast, fast. Like I just want to do everything sharp, sharp. And then like everything was hitting me really hard at first. But then I sat down one day and I was just scrolling through Instagram and I was still seeing people that are like ahead of me. And that was when I had to sit down and have a conversation with myself. And I feel like at every point in everybody's life, you need to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. So I had a conversation with myself that, lady, you need to calm down because these people that are ahead of you, they didn't just start today, right? There's this common saying that Rome isn't built in a day. Everything has like step, everything has processes. Like there are some steps you need to take, there are some training you need to take, there are some things you need to do before you get to that level. If you ask anybody today that have been above, that are ahead of you, they all have a story to tell. Right. So that was how I was able to deal with my imposter syndrome. I was like, okay, I just have to make sure that every day of my life I'm taking a step towards getting better. Right. So that way, when I see things that people do, people ahead of me do, posts, I just say, okay, I'm getting there one day. So it was more like a self-motivation kind of thing. So I kept talking to myself and reminding myself about it. Then another thing I would say I struggle with also is rejection. Yes. I think I struggled with rejection because I didn't know how to deal with rejection at all at first. Right. When I started showing up online, when I started posting stuff that I do online, especially on Twitter. Twitter is a very terrible place. I'm sorry, but Twitter is like a war zone. Like, right? But when I started posting, I get a lot of corrections, I get a lot of feedbacks, I get a lot of things. And then when I have a very weird feeling when people don't really like what I post, like when people reject my designs and all of that things. So everything just gets to me and kind of like attacks me a lot. But then nobody's perfect. That's another thing you should tell yourself, right? We keep learning every day. We keep growing every day, right? Rejection when it comes to the things that I do. Rejection when I apply for jobs also, because when I apply to like 10 jobs in a day and I receive like 10 rejections also in a day, trust me, it's not funny to anybody. But it's actually not funny to anybody. So I struggled with rejection a lot when I started. I'll say those are like the two things that I struggled with, and in the course of my journey, I was able to deal with them because I know that everybody has been rejected in one way or the other. Trust me, even people that have been in the space for a very long time, they have their rejection stories to tell, and we all have to learn from it. So basically, I say those are my struggles and my challenges.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's just clear that everybody struggled with imposter syndrome. I was telling them on the meeting I was before now. I spoke with a friend yesterday. He's been about 10 years in the industry as a data engineer. And I was discussing with him, said, Paji, we still face this thing, imposter syndrome. I mean, every time. And it's good. It's a good thing because it makes you, check yourself again. So that you'll be
Yeah.
very comfortable or too comfortable. It's also good because the fact that you're having that feeling is because you are pushing yourself constantly. If you are growing, you always find yourself in a room that you don't know anything. But today you don't know shit. Tomorrow you're already getting better. Do you get the idea? And that's what I recommend. I tell people that today you don't know a lot, but trust me, keep growing. Tomorrow you will know a little more. By next week, you know a little more. It's just how you stay on Google and the topic, you start to think about it, learn about it. Before you know it, you start to master it. And then you can say something about it. Weeks later, you are becoming a guru. It's so interesting. And that makes me feel good that how it is it that today I don't know this thing? Then give me 90 days and I'm saying a lot about it already. That gives me strength. So good. The same will just to add to this the question: how do you build confidence? How did you build confidence? During that long period of learning and trying to see the result. Some of the result some of us are looking up to is to land the role, which sometimes is not really like the only result that we should look out for. But however, how did you build confidence, on your journey, why on that long ride till you broke through? Tell me
Okay.
about it. Yes.
Okay. So I would say that one thing that I learned early when I started this whole tech journey was showing up. And I know some people kind of like have a way of they will say we should show up, they will say we should post, and then you're just posting and then nothing, nothing, nothing. But you can never underestimate the power of showing up. Let me tell you that today, right? I started the whole thing showing up online, like documenting my process, my progress online. If I have a little milestone today in my journey, I post it online, I talk about it. That way, I get constructive feedback, and somehow I find a way to waive the other kind of feedback that I get. But the ones that are important to me, I kind of like just filter them out. So that way, I kept working on the feedbacks that I get. I think that that's something is it's a different thing to get feedback, and it's a different thing to get feedback and they'll still work on the feedbacks,
Mm.
right? So I kept showing up, and I would say that's one thing that has given me much confidence because most people get inspired with what I post online, even when I just started. I mean, when I
Mm.
just started and I post some things online, most of the feedback I get, people still learn from it. And I'm glad that I post something and then people still learn from the feedback that I get from it. So it's more like putting yourself out there,
Mm.
right? Keep showing up, even when people don't. don't. I feel like most people are, they base their showing up on people liking, following.
mm, mm, mm,
When I started posting, at times I might be the only person that will like my post,
mm,
right? I might be the only person that will like my post, but people are not liking, but they are following. I
mm,
learned that one.
watching.
Yes, people are not liking, but they are following. People that would actually eventually message you and say, "Oh, okay, I like what you posted." They might not even be part of your followers. They might not be part of the people that connect with you on LinkedIn,
Mm,
but they are watching. That's just one thing I feel like people should know. They might not be liking, they might not be engaging, right? But they are following your progress.
mm,
When you get to that point that they feel like, okay, they can hire you, they would eventually slide into your DM. So I feel like don't post for the engagement. Post because you want to make impact. Post because you are documenting your progress. You're showing people that okay, you're growing every day, right? So that way, I know it's not easy because along the line, me too, at some point, I almost got discouraged, right? Because I'm not the kind of outside person. I'm kind of like an introvert kind of person, where I don't like showing things that I do. Right, I like to be low key, but I feel like if you want to grow, if you want to be confident, you have to be consistent in showing up. That's one thing I'm going to say.
wow, wow. Thank you very much. Two words, like you said something about the milestone and the
Mhm.
fact that you're posting because you wanted to make impact. And that's a lot for me, and maybe people can reflect on that. It's never about you in the early days. Some people will make sense of what you're doing and they'll be inspired. Why some will also, say a lot to slander you in a way, but you are just pushing because you are focused on the people that are getting something from what you're doing. And you said they are not commenting, which is the truth. The person that will really buy your product or begin offer you a job or use your service might not even pass a comment on your
Mm,
post for once, but they are
mm,
following, they are watching. So
yeah.
people, you have to put yourself out there, regardless. The way you build confidence is when you are looking at overthinking and overjudging yourself that this thing doesn't even make sense. Is it perfect enough? Post it because somebody can learn from that. And
Mhm.
that if you by chance just see that somebody is blessed, have joy. You understand? Let there be joy in your heart that at least somebody is blessed. Even if they did not comment, you saw impression, 20 people viewed it. That's okay. It's never about them. You think about it also as documenting your process.
Mm,
Every master today was once a disaster,
mm,
right? So they were no good initially, but somehow they got better. If you don't do your one, you won't do your 100. So you
mm,
have to start. You don't need to be perfect, to start, but for you to be perfect, you have to start. Good.
mm.
Now you mentioned milestones, and that takes me to the first question. Tell us about, the your first. I mean, I've been in the journey to honest, I understood the whole thing. I think it took you about 1.5 years for you to land before you landed your first gig. However, there had been some things in between that happened, like your first milestone in the industry, and I knew about the teaching gig that you landed, and also what would you call as your first, I won't say major milestone now, but the first one that okay, I think I am doing something and I'm getting somewhere. I mean, that would be like a boost for you at that moment. Can you tell us about it, and when was it? Maybe you might not be accurate in terms of the dates or the day, but you can
Mm.
like the time frame.
Okay. Thank you. So I got like my major like full time gig after a year and let's say 4 to 6 months. Yeah, I can't really count, but it was after a year, like a major full time role. And then I got that role through LinkedIn. Yes. So let me explain. Despite the fact that I didn't get like a full time gig, right? After when I started learning and all of that, I didn't stop posting. Honestly, I didn't stop. Something somewhere was just telling me that I should just keep showing up, and I think it's my spirit. But I listened to my spirit and I kept posting on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I just kept posting. If I learn something new today, I post. If I design something today, I post. Anything, I just post. But I was not just posting something randomly. You don't just post something anyhow. Like you post something relating to what you're doing, right? If there's anything new that you learn, or you talk about it, and like so. I think I posted a design on LinkedIn, and yes, that brings me to when I said the people that would eventually message you, they are probably not even following you or liking your designs. So the man reached out to me on LinkedIn. I checked if he followed me. He's not, we've never connected before. He has never liked any of my posts. But he just sent me a message and was like, he has been following my profile for a while. I was like, wow, that's interesting. And he said that if I'm open for a full-time role, that the job is mine. I was like, wow, okay, that's new. So that was like a very, it was like the happiest day of my life. Eventually, like me posting on LinkedIn was not in vain. I knew that eventually it was going to pay off. Honestly, showing up always pay off. Let me tell you, it's always. So when we got on a call, he really didn't ask me so much question. He just said that he has been following me and he has been reading through the things that I post and also my work. That I've been posting really good works. That when am I ready to start? I've been looking for a job. I'm ready to start immediately. So, but I just said that I'm ready to start immediately, and I was like, okay, it's going to give me like a week to just put things together and then sign off. And then that was when I got like a full time role, like a full time gig. That's how I got it. So yeah, I
Wow.
think that's it.
Wow. You see, I followed you too, honestly. I see you post every day, and I'm like, what is the motivation behind all these things? I mean, I've been the LinkedIn guy maybe after when I relocated to, so I've been showing up. But I mean, I just look at you, and every day before I go on LinkedIn, you already posted. You're like, how much time do you even have to make this design? Is it like you're just clicking and the designs are showing up? And even when you started working, you didn't stop posting too, like full time. And I still wonder, how do you manage? And it's about showing up, that showing up is a thing. But for that man who didn't ask for your CV, or who didn't really disturb you, people should understand that he has seen so much CVs already based on what you are already posting. This is the idea of posting every day, posting. I mean, somebody has been following your post. You didn't have to make that up on the spot when he asks you like an interview question. He had seen what you have been posting. He has been asked. That's enough for him to be convinced that I think she will do the job, she will deliver. So there's no point, going back and forth. You've convinced him by your profile, by your publishing, which is going back to the 5 P's of becoming a key person of influence. I think we'll get to that later. Now, I remember you had a teaching opportunity before your first full-time gig. And what
Yeah.
was that experience like? Maybe quickly, because you mentioned you went straight into your 1.5 or 1 year, 4 months gig or the first role. But I knew some things happened in between that, and maybe some internships, some teaching gigs. How did you come across that? And how did you feel when that came?
Okay. So when I was in the learning process, right? Because I kind of like gave myself months of intensive learning. Well, I'll still talk about that later. But in the course of learning, I made few friends. So it was one of the friends that introduced me to the teaching gig, right? And it was more like a training for ladies. It was a women empowerment thing, and they want someone that can train ladies on UIX design. So he recommended me, even knowing very well that I just started. He was like, he just saw something that, and he believes that I can do it. So for someone like me that don't like talking, I don't like I don't like standing in front of people. I don't like standing in front of crowds. Honestly, trust me. Even, even here, I'm just I'll just say I've learned to be very expressive and talk, because but there's nothing you do in this life that you not communicate to people. So I think that was where I summoned the courage to start to impact people. So I had this gig to train them for 5 months. So which I did. At first, I already told the people that called me that in case I might change my mind in the middle of the job, because I don't think I'll be able to teach these people very well. They just said, okay, I should just start. So I did, and along the line, it was interesting. I feel I had a great joy impacting women. Like I had, like most of them came out very well designing, and they've been doing really great for themselves. So yeah, so that was like the first. It was more like a contract thing. I had that for 5 months, and then after that, I applied for internships. Yes, and it was intentionally because I mean most of the job descriptions out there, right? They can be complex. Let me just put it that way. But aside the job description, I just wanted to put my hands on real life projects. So I applied for internships, right, just to get around with the things, what my field is about, work on projects and like so. It was just an on and off kind of internship thing. So those are like the things that happen between the 1 year and the 6 months of getting like a full time gig.
Thank you very much. Brings me. I remember when I was saying, I think then we're discussing. I said, you could start having your curriculum, start having. If you have the opportunity to teach, you should teach it. And then it wasn't the following week that it came out that you got a teaching gig and like you're not sure if you should go for a blah blah blah. Yeah, for me, I love teaching, right? And I know that who we teach is learn twice. You know, if you want to master it, create an obligation to teach it, meaning for whatever you want to master, if you can teach, you don't need to know it. So they said those who want to master, teach it. So it's like you don't master, you are not the master yet, but the process of teaching is what will help you to master, because you have to raise yourself to a level where you need to understand it. In the process of explaining to someone, have you gotten that kind of realm people where you are telling somebody about something and then the knowledge and understanding start coming to you, a better understanding of that thing, as if you're on the altar preaching to people and then you're downloading inspiration or from above. So that's the way it is on the pit. So the idea is that um engage in teaching others, no matter how let me say early you are on the journey. I learned that early enough when I started learning how to play the guitar, playing for 14 years now. I started teaching the next week. I mean, the week after I started learning. I learn in school. I go back home and teach somebody at home. And the guy was like, okay, this. And that helped me to move faster because whatever I was taught in the process of teaching somebody. So where I'm going is for people here. And that way you can actually improve your journey and make it faster. Even land gigs and opportunities for you to start trying to teach. Sometimes it is your student that we even recommend. Students see their teacher. It's like, this person knows a lot.
Yeah.
They are judging based on their knowledge, and so they can say a lot about you. They can connect you. You can build relationship and trust, right? So people start to teach. Then I want to ask a question: how do you land the internship? Were there places you applied to? I know that might be specific to your domain. However, it's possible it is applicable. Was it on LinkedIn as well, or maybe there are some websites you recommend that people could look into because I know a lot of people are looking for opportunity to intern. Why I recommend that people should look for places to volunteer, and even if they don't have roles for you, go there and create the role yourself. What would you say about internship quickly? How would you
Okay, so
recommend that they get one? Yeah.
all right. So when it comes to internship, right? I know that now people are looking for paid internship, right? But before the paid ones shows up, please go for the unpaid ones. You can volunteer. I did a lot of volunteering actually, right? I would say it's good because I'll say it's good, and I would say it has the advantage and disadvantages, right? And I will just explain based on my experience. So I volunteered because you need experience. You need to know your way around whatever you're doing. You cannot just finish learning now and then they should put you on like a multi like a big company, role, and then they have so many things for you to do and everything is becoming so overwhelming. I would say that you should volunteer first, right? Put your hands on some of these things, learn them, right? You can be like when you're volunteering, you can learn on the job, right? I know that there are some roles that you can learn on the job, but volunteering you can learn on the job. So that when you get that gig that will pay you very well, some of these things will not be too overwhelming for you, right? That was because of the things that actually like made me to volunteer, go for unpaid internship. But why I would say that it has disadvantages because people don't know when to leave. And then it feels as if that people are now taking advantage of you volunteering. So that one is another story entirely. When you're volunteering, right, you do your thing, you learn, you when you're even volunteering, said the company that are volunteering to, they will know that okay, they are there to volunteer. They don't really need to put so much pressure on you, right? But some people can do that. But I will just say that you learn when you're volunteering. Do your research, watch videos. If they give you a task and they say, "Oh, I need you to do this for me," they are not paying you. They shouldn't really choke you that way. But I mean, just go online, you do this, you do that. So when that gig eventually comes, everything will not be too overwhelming for you. It will not be too big for you. That was what I did when I was doing internship for a company. They were not paying me, right? But they had a big project and they need people, they need designers they can put on it, and people that they'll say, okay, let me just volunteer. I did. But in the course of learning on that project, right? And because of volunteering, rather, I learned a lot. I get to work with other designers too that are even far experienced than I am, and they are volunteering also. Right? That way, you can't even, you can't even you don't know the kind of person you might meet when you're even volunteering for something, right? You might eventually get to work with somebody that has been in the space for a very long time, and then you learn from that person. So it's a two-way thing, right? So I learned a lot volunteering, working with designers that have been in the space for like maybe 2 years, like far above mine, right? So it was like a fun thing for me. But knowing when to leave, I knew when it was time for me to leave, right? So you cannot be doing internship for a whole year. Nah, it's not supposed to be that way. Internship is supposed to give you experience, right? And then when you're done learning one of it, if you see once you notice that you're not even learning again, I would say that it's time for you to leave. And then it's time for you to take a step ahead. Right. So yes, I did a lot of volunteering and internships. So I'll just say that look for internships, look for where you can
Where?
volunteer. But also, yes, so I got my internships on LinkedIn. Yes. Yeah, yes, funny, I got my internships on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn has like they post a lot of unpaid and volunteering jobs on LinkedIn actually. Maybe because I follow people, I follow companies, I follow people
Recruiter.
that are into my kind of niche you get. So I get a lot of notification on UIEX design volunteer, this is volunteer. So you can even search when you go on LinkedIn, you can search for volunteering jobs for this and this. You will see them. They are on LinkedIn. So people post volunteering gigs. They post unpaid internship. Some people pay interns just data. They can give you stipend or so, but you can find internships on LinkedIn. You can even find them on Twitter, but LinkedIn is more of a professional environment, so you can see some of those things like that, like a lot of them on LinkedIn. So I got my internship, my volunteering job on LinkedIn.
Wow, good. I think I don't know. It just makes sense to me that I've been the LinkedIn guy shouting LinkedIn, and at some point people felt it's because of my profile. Now I want
Mm,
them to see from somebody else now that it's never about my profile, it's about your presence, right? And how you see the platform. If you are optimistic about landing opportunities there and you stay active, it is now, I mean, necessary, it's even more important than before that you stay active now. People are writing CVs with ChatGPT or AI. 8 years, they're trying to pass 8 years. There's a lot of competition, massive layoff and all.
mm,
And so when they are laying people off now, you are competing with the people that are already in the industry who are experienced.
mm,
Then what do you do to stand out? Your profile. CVs don't cut it again like before because they can't even trust the CVs again. HR has complained that everybody is just using AI to build CVs. So the CV looks perfect, but the brain is empty. And when they call, it is until they get to the interview. So what do you do? How do they trust you? Their profile. What have you been posting? And all sort of things. So people take advantage of LinkedIn, to push your profile up. And so I think there's a particular question I would, like to ask you. I know you've answered that part already, that you are very active on LinkedIn and Twitter, and how that has impacted your journey. So I was going to ask, how did it impact? Which you said you landed opportunities, both volunteering, internship, and then a job eventually on LinkedIn. But how do
mm.
you manage to stay, to stay active, managing your time between the social media, your work, client projects, side gigs, and main job. How did you really do that part? Staying active? Because till now, till today, I know you are still very active. If you didn't post today, probably you posted yesterday. How did you manage it? Like, and how do you still manage that too?
Okay. So I'll say the answer to that is time management. Honestly, it's time management. I I try my best to prioritize my taxes, right? Prioritize my work based on their order of will I call it order of timeline. Let me just put it that way, right? So wow, it's really not, I'm not going to put it out there as something that is easy, but I would say that learn to prioritize your tasks, right? That's what I do. When I know I juggle work and juggle gigs all together, but I try to manage them based on timelines, right? And I also do weekly goals. Yes, I have, I kind of do, okay, what are things I want to achieve for the week? What are the things I want to achieve for the day also? So I just try to prioritize most of the things I have at hand so that I don't slack in any one of them. I try to find the balance, manage my time, and say, okay, before the end of today, this is what I want to do. Before the end of this week, I should be able to finish this. I will just make sure that every time that I'm spending on each of these tasks, they are valuable, right? No time is waste. And in the course of juggling all of them together, I don't play with my rest also because resting is important. If you burn out, it affects your creativity. So try to manage your time, prioritize, and also rest. It's important too.
Thank you very much for that. So because of our time, I think we have a few minutes more. Talking about freelancing and communicating your skills now. When trying to secure freelance gig, how do you identify and connect with the right stakeholders, the right people? I know you, apart from the job that you landed, you've probably gotten gigs or another job or so, maybe working locally or internationally. Maybe give us a story of the second gig, after that one, how did it happen? Also, now that you get gigs, what are the things you would do that you recommend people should do? Yes, showing up online, posting. Are there other things that they could add to the equation to make it complete?
Okay. I would say, okay, getting gigs online, right?
Mm,
It's in different ways. I mean, there are different platforms where people can get gigs, right? There are different websites where people can apply for, freelancing jobs and the likes.
mm,
But um, it works differently for people. But I'll explain. I'll explain. So now, getting freelancing gigs for me, one of the things that actually worked for me, apart from showing up and posting, was networking. Now, people actually think that, oh, they said we should network, they said we should meet people, they said we should do this, they said we should do that. It's not working for me. It might not be working now, but trust me,
mm,
it is eventually, I mean, to eventually work rather.
mm,
So yes, and for someone like me that I don't know how to make friends. Let me not lie about that. I'm very terrible at making friends. This kind of like a close person. Let me just be in my corner, right, with the people that I already know from scratch. But when I started something new, I needed new friends that are into what I do. Right? So it took me months before after posting on Twitter and the likes, and then I eventually reached out to people. Now, when I reached out to someone, right, I reached out to a lady on Twitter, and I did the kind of interview that we went through together because I said I wanted to be a friend. So because it's not easy, like really networking with people online, but you have to position yourself to be somebody's friend, right? So that they'll be able to network with you. Just be friendly. So I went in to a DM being friendly. I'm like, oh, good evening, right? I've been following your posts and the likes, and I feel like I want to be your friend. Like I was straightforward. I think that the most mistake people make when networking is they're not being straightforward enough, right? You don't just enter in somebody's DM and say, oh, I want you to be my mentor. You must be my mentor. No, it
mm,
doesn't work that way. It
Mm.
doesn't work that way. You don't just enter into somebody's day and say, "Oh, today, you must be my mentor. I've been following you." Blah 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 blah. That's why most DMs get like ignored somehow. I would say that mine too at some point, like early, like they were ignored by some people. But I eventually looked for another way to network with people, which is I was being friendly, right? I was being straightforward on what I also wanted. That okay, I want you to be my friend. I'm also this. I'm also doing. I'm also into UI design, right? I don't know if you're open to friendships. If you're looking for new friends, I mean, it's not everybody that's looking for new friends, so you should be prepared to get rejection from people. But that does not mean you should not try networking with other people. So this lady, I met her and then we became friends. Funny enough, but she asked me questions. Not with like she asked me a lot of questions. Oh, what are you? What are your goals? What are your visions for the UIX thing? So we shared a lot of things and then we vibed very well, right? So I was forced to step out of my shell.
Mhm.
Yes. So now where I'm driving at, most of the gigs that I get recently is through her because because she in fact she brought me on a job and then we worked together, everything went well. Then she referred me again. Now that is where networking actually works. Find a way to look for somebody, right? Be friendly, right? Don't just make it like you are desperate, right? Just be open to whatever feedback the person gives you, right? And then you talk to this person. Oh, okay, we can be friends, we can share ideas, we can share visions, we can grow together, like all of those things, right? You don't go to their DM based on the fact that you want them to be referring you to gifts. I mean, me and this lady, they're like, if she's not referring me, the other way would be like we'll just be friends and we'll just be saying hi, right? But she made the whole thing easier also. I mean, looking for networking is not easy, I'm not going to lie. Networking is not easy, but you have to try. You have to network, reach out to people, talk to people, right? And look for there's something I want to talk about. Oh my god, please remember. Look for a space. Oh, there's actually a word I want to use, right?
Mm.
Oh my god. I can't remember. But
Okay.
there's always an opportunity in something, right? You should look for the oh my god, I need to remember this word. I had it in mind to talk about it, but I can't remember.
Did the avenue to help them or impact them or something? Is it like what's
Yeah,
important,
it's
right?
not like
Feedback, right?
don't come because you want to be the one to receive.
Okay.
Also have something that you're bringing
Yeah.
to
So it's not a parasitic relationship.
yeah, something
It's
like that.
symbiotic, right?
Something like that. Don't just call because I want you to be my mentor. I want you anytime you have it, just give me. No, it doesn't work that way. So it has to be like a friendly networking. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So that
It
is
was-
part of the thing that have given me my gig. The first teaching job that I got was through a friend. Someone referred me. The second one and the third one and so many more, they referred me to. So I'll say networking is one of the things that will give. Don't overlook networking, honestly.
Mm.
When you get to spaces, when you get to events, find your way to talk to people. Don't just sit in a corner. You don't know who can give you job next month. You don't know who can give you job next week. So aside networking, now there are other platforms that you can get freelancing gigs also. There are Upworks, there are Contra, so many websites, right? I think I've gotten a gig on Upwork, and I would say that you can when it comes to Upwork and other sites for freelancing gigs, you would need to do a lot of research. Let me just put it that way, because some people say, "Oh, you need to tailor your bio to do this. You need to tailor your this to do that." I'll say don't overlook some of these advice people throw online also, because some of them are like very important. They can land you your next gig. So yeah. So apart from networking and all of these sites, you can get gigs also on LinkedIn. And I saw a post recently when someone was talking about sheep posting online for like back to back for like a week. And then she didn't even need to apply for these jobs. People were coming to her DM to give her gifts. It works that way for some people.
Mm.
I would say that try all the process, try everything. Right? You eventually find the one that will work for you. For me now, the one working for me now is networking, right? People are referring me and the like, right? You don't know the one that might work for you, but try everything. Be everywhere. Like you can try Upwork, try Contra, try LinkedIn, right? You don't just want to stay or not. But okay, this is the one that this is where I'm looking for job. This is where I must be. It cannot always be LinkedIn. You can try other places too, right? And just follow the advice people put online. Just read through most of the things people put online. They really help, honestly. They do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, thank you for, you know, it's funny that last meeting we had, that was 2 weeks ago. I think Mr. Anthony is online. We discussed Upwork, Contra, and LinkedIn as well. So I
Yeah.
didn't even plan this that you're going to talk about Contra or even Upwork because I never knew you landed a gig on Upwork in the first place, you know. And it's just to show that those things are working. Somebody else is talking about it again. Then people will now wonder why is it not working for them? They are not ready to post. They are not ready to show up. But they just want to show up on those platforms and then start getting gigs. Like you said, before somebody started referring you to other people, you have proven yourself to be the right person to do the job. You have shown up to them that and you have perhaps in past posted your work. So they've been able to trust because somebody can say, you this person you're referring, how can I trust the idea? Go and check her profile now. Go to LinkedIn and see what she's posting. You know, even that alone is enough to convince the person. There's a way they look at you when they have seen what you have done before. The questioning, the interview is totally different. When recruiters reach out to me, the way they talk to me is different from when I'm the one who reaches out to them. I'm telling you, there's a difference because they are the one who came, they saw my profile and they come to me. And that's why I will continue to show up. Because like you said earlier, it might not work today, you might not see the results. You're not showing there because you want to have the result now. You might get a job and no, it might not be too LinkedIn, but don't stop. There will be a day that you will need that thing, and it will be what you have done in those days, the investment of years that will work for you. Yeah, thank you very much. And so we have come to like a time where people can start asking questions. If during the course of the conversation, if you have any question or something burning you want to, speak about, you can drop a message. And when we have the opportunity and we ask you to speak, but to save time and so that you can put your words together, you can also drop messages in the chat box, right? So I can read it out. And then if you think you want to ask a direct question too, like I said, for us to save time, it would be the best that you're able to type them. Just a quick one, and one more question for you, and then we are wrapping this up. It's almost time, and we like to keep to time. So freelancing, we talked about freelancing. Now, and one thing I know is one, like it's around that imposter syndrome, but maybe not exactly. People have the fear that what if I reach out? I remember somebody asking people learning data analytics that your first job doesn't make you a data analyst. You're already analyzing data before, you understand. Your first job doesn't make you a UI UA designer. You're already designing before they called you for the job, isn't it? So people now are very scared of putting up on their LinkedIn to call themselves designers. They will put aspiring. I say, what are you aspiring? It takes me. I will leave somebody who is already saying his experience in the field and go and pick one person that is aspiring. You are still aspiring. You are not yet that thing. So the first recommendation is remove aspiring from your profile. You are not aspiring. If you are already analyzing data, you are a data analyst. Now, but because of that, I remember one of this training I did with people. And somebody said, "Sir, my fear is that what if I post it there? Look at this. So somebody who is not getting is saying that if I post it there and I put my profile as a data analyst, what if somebody now offers me a job? How will I be able to defend it?" I'm like, I don't understand. You're already analyzing data. Who even told you that somebody will call you? You with the profile that you have not even, updated, optimized. You're already scared about the fact that what if you optimize your profile and you get a job? So how do you manage, those kind of thoughts and expectations? Maybe from your first gig, did you ever have the fear that culture different across the country, especially when you're working for somebody? Were you not seeing the fear of, oh, how do I manage this? Are you sure I will be able to do this job? and how we're able to overcome that, because that person could have said, yes, I saw your profile and I think I want to offer you, and you shy away. A lady, I think she's here, she told me, maybe she's listening, that she got an interview after, applying, and she didn't attend because of fear. She was troubled. So maybe because of her, you want to help her. When it gets to that, say, what do you do and how do you manage it in the past to where you are right now?
Okay. So, okay. So I have so many parts I want to touch in this question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So, wow, she being scared of attending interviews, right? I would say I had that too at first, but I didn't shy away from interviews.
Mm,
Actually, I eventually learned to be very confident in interviews, right? I don't like I said earlier, I don't like talking. I don't like explaining myself too much. Safe. But when I started getting like interviews, because before I got like my full time role, I've had interviews with people and eventually got rejected, right? But I didn't shy away from interviews because I was because of my what is it called? my oh my god, my shy whatever,
mhm,
and because oh, I'm still new into design, so I should not do this. No, no, no. Before they called me for an interview, they saw my portfolio.
mm,
So actually, they will know that this is the level of designer that you are. You don't need to say, oh yeah, even on your CV, you don't need to say aspiring this, aspiring data analysis. You've started something and they can see that you are doing something, right? So they know that this is where you are, right? So I think an interview is like an opportunity to show them that you know your worth and you can do more. They ask you things that you have been doing. It's not something new. So you don't need to be afraid. You don't need to shy away from it and say, oh, I need to keep myself. I'm not that good. I'm not, no. In fact, for you to think that you're not that good, you're actually that good, but you don't just know how to explain yourself. That's just the thing. I would say that you should practice talking to yourself first. Because when I started interview, I used to stutter a lot. Like I
mm,
can start talking to a CEO like right now, and I'm like, as you can, and I will just mute. But I learned, you running away from something, you won't learn that way. Let's just be honest, you won't learn that way. So first thing first, the interview part, start by practicing on your own. Like talk to yourself. You can even set up a Google Meet and just be talking, explain, ask yourself questions, or you can put like a question in front of you and then because I did these things. I'm not going to lie. I might not talk about it, but I did it because I wanted to learn, I wanted to be better. So that settles the interview part, right? As for putting on aspiring this, aspiring that on your bio on LinkedIn, to me, I feel like it's not necessary. That brings me to when you're documenting your progress.
mm,
They see you. They know that you are going to be. They know. So if you put, you can say junior, a junior data analyst or a junior, yeah, is better than aspiring. Aspiring looks like maybe I
mm,
can, and at the
mm,
end, maybe I can cut off, right? Yes, that's how aspiring looks like. I mean, when I'm reading somebody's brand, I say aspiring this, you're aspiring to be something. Anything can happen along the way. You can decide to change your mind, right? But when you put like junior this, junior UI designer, junior data analyst, right? You don't need to show them that, oh, you're aspiring. You keep posting, documenting your progress. Oh, today I started learning data analysis, blah, 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 blah. This is what I learned today. And then you're showing results. That alone is something. I saw somebody's story on Twitter. She was new to UI actually, but she just put junior UI on her bio. I actually went through her bio actually to actually see it. But one thing I noticed that was different was that for everything that she learned, like in a day, she's putting it out there.
mm,
So they know that she's like a junior. They know that she's just starting. And then after like 3 months, 6 months, she got a full time role.
mm,
So I mean, you don't need to say, "Oh, yeah, you are aspiring." You can just say, "Yeah, a junior." That positions you better than somebody that
mm,
is aspiring. Yes, that brings me to. I wanted to talk about positioning before, but yeah, that brings me to positioning. So there's a difference between somebody that is aspiring and there's difference between somebody that says, "Oh, I'm a junior." This when you're aspiring, I don't think I want to give a role to somebody that's still aspiring,
Mm-hmm.
right? But say you're a junior, right, and you're documenting your progress, it's obvious. People can see, they are
Mm,
following you. They can see your results every day.
thank you.
So that's it very well.
Thank you so much. I mean, you stylishly answered one question that I said I wanted to read out to you, and I think Mercy as quas, want to add to what our speaker said. However, I will come to you. Please, somebody said as regards data analysis, which again you've answered, showing up. What are the works and showing up? What are the works we are showing up while learning? Which again you've answered. Like in your own case, or even as data, what is it that you post about, right? You've answered it. Do you want to also touch on that again? Because he's asking when you say
Okay.
we should show up, what are the words we should be showing up and
Mm.
why we are learning? Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I understand, I get that.
yeah.
So, and I feel apart from what are the things you should even show, I feel like at some point you feel like you're posting what somebody has already posted
Mm,
or what somebody has already spoken about. It's none of your business. You are showing up, you are talking about your own, right? Just look for, I mean, there's something new coming out every day in everybody's niche, like area of career or whatever. You
mhm.
can talk about that. You can talk about something that people, in fact, you can remind, it comes like a reminder. If as a designer, I can wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I want to talk about, I don't know if there's any designer here, but let me just, yeah, there is one. I think I have a friend on the call. Yeah, so I can say, okay, I want to talk about frames, auto layout, and groups. And somebody posted it yesterday. And it's coming to my mind fresh that, okay, I feel like I need to talk about this thing on LinkedIn, right? I don't care about maybe somebody that posted it yesterday. I have an information that I want to pass. So I have to pass it. So just there's nothing, it's not about something, just put what you learn every day online. Post about something that they already even know because it might serve as a reminder. I posted something recently about people working on their portfolio. I just said, I was like, it's not like they don't know that they should work on their portfolio, but it serves as a reminder to some people, right? That okay, it's time for you to work on your portfolio. This is May. You said okay, first quarter of the year. I'm going to start on my portfolio, and then the first quarter is already off. So it might serve as a reminder. It might be something new. It might be something people know that you just want to point out something else that you think that they don't know. I mean, when they read some of these things, it's not about you teaching them alone. It shows that you know what you're doing. It shows that you know some certain areas in your niche. It shows that you want to really pass out important information. So whatever, I don't know so much in data analysis, but I will say that whatever it is that data analysis is all about, there is always something for you to also post. If you give yourself assignments today, post it. This is what I gave myself. This is what I wanted to do today, and I was able to achieve this. Still, just post it. Just show up. And also, you can use ChatGPT.
Mm,
Yes, you can use ChatGPT also to know what you can post. You can come up with. Okay, so recently I started content creation actually just to just to put myself out there, right? Just to show my not just to show my face, to build my communication skills also. So I decided to say, okay, let me go into content creation. So yes, I struggle with what to talk about, but eventually I use ChatGPT. Like I'm currently building like a content calendar, and I don't care even if somebody has said something about it, I will still talk about it. So you don't need to bother yourself that oh somebody talked about this yesterday, I shouldn't talk about it today. No, you can still talk about it. Just post it online. Just show up. Just make sure you are posting valuable things, right? You can use
yeah,
ChatGPT to organize your content and everything. So it
thank you.
will help.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Apologies, people. We've overspent time. It's 9:01, and we like to wrap it up here. But I shared this screen just to support what she has said. For you, who's already on the data analytics launch pad, these are things you can post on. We have 84, let's say 84 or so, over 90 videos. I mean, over 90 tabs that you can actually click and talk about it. For example, you did something about wear clothes today. You can just talk about it.
Mm.
I learned to wear clothes. Ask ChatGPT, I want to make a post on LinkedIn and I learned so, 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 and so, so, so. about wear clothes. In fact, it was interesting, this and this. Can you come up with a post based on that little explanation you have given that will not be too much about wear clothes? What is the usefulness of group buy and other buy? You understand? Those are the things. Let me escape. What is the usefulness? What is the difference? When did they use group buy? When did they? Why? All those simple things. You see, there are messages. The difference between, you can see is already here. Having versus where. What is the difference between having clause? I mean, having and where. When do you use them? Why do you use them separately? Limit and aliases, joins, unions, strings, case statements, subqueries, Windows functions. You've done all these things already. So you're talking about what you have done. Explain when did they use temp tables? Why do we use stored procedures? Ask ChatGPT. But supply your own knowledge, understanding of this, and what you use it to do. Then it will help you come up with content. And then you can even have a template. Ask me for a template, I'll give you. Another thing is that once you have done that, tomorrow you don't need to repeat the template. Just say, I want to make another post today, following the template that has been established before on this chart. Kindly, I did this, I learned this, kindly help me make a post around. I'm telling you, you come up with a good post. Find a picture, nice picture, either of yourself or of what having clause. Go to Google, search for having temp table in SQL or anything. Find a lovely picture, add it to the post, because pictures, you understand, visuals attract a lot. People will like the post even before they read what you posted. That's why if you post 5 pictures there, before you know that, they never read anything they are liking. Though that's not a aim. Trust me, it's not just for you to start collecting likes without people engaging. But the truth is, it's even attract people to the message. So add it to it. Good quality picture. Either it's about you or something else, just put it and make it. Like you said, you are documenting your progress. For someone who wants to employ you and she saw that, the person saw that you have posted all these things few days before, Abba, or months before, they don't need to doubt that skill again. You have it already. And then you go, you won't be short of well, what does pivot chart do? What do we use it for in Excel? Why do we need it? Why is it important? Why is it important? Formulas, XLOOKUP, conditional formatting. Those are the things you talk about, at least for a start. Then before you know it, topics start coming and we are just getting used to it and you're showing up. Thank you very much for your time. Messi Asuko, because I'll be wrapping up with you, that's for me, just for you to, give us a parting words. What what is it that the myth that you've, debunked in the industry, in tech industry, and what's your advice for us, for people to stay consistent, and what would you say to them that they can hold today, apart from every other thing you've shared? But before you, let me quickly, Messi, are you there? Can you unmute your mic? Apologies, we're boring yet. We're asking for extra like 5 minutes. It's question and answer time, so you can drop off actually. Yeah, we have come to the end of it. We're just going to officially end it. If you can unmute your mic, speak, so that I won't silence you. Mercy Asuko, are you there?
Hi, hi everybody.
Hello. Good evening. You're welcome.
I'm sorry. Okay, it's fine since the we're already rounding up. But I just wanted to chip into what our speaker said. I don't know why she's smiling, but yeah, good
She's my
evening.
friend. She's my friend and she's a co-designer actually. So,
No worries.
So what I wanted to add to it quickly was, irrespective of the fact that everything she said is good and fine and everything, one thing that I think she didn't mention, which I would like to add, is for you to master your crafts, right? So it's not about you going for jobs, applying for jobs and everything. Let's say you're just starting out in design and all your end goal is to get jobs. The money is your drive, although it's supposed to be your drive, but I think you should master your craft first, right? Learn the little things. Learn how to, if a client gives you a PRD today, can you break down that PRD? Can you think? Can you actually change the PRD to an actual product, right? So all those little things, not about creating circles and rectangles on Figma, right? The critical thinking is there. Can you do all those thinking process when an actual job is being given to you? So master your craft first before actively looking for jobs that is paying you in millions or billions. So that is what I wanted to chip in. I would have said more, but let's just end it there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mercy. Thanks for joining and coming to support us. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, we would connect more and we have a lot we can share. And for people hearing PRD for the first time, it means product requirements document, right? And an important document that outlines what a product should be all about, the features, the specifications, the functionalities, and all sort of things. I'm not in this space, but somehow we come across all these things as we are building products, we are building the data backend as well sometimes. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for that. Master your craft. You see, I am not somebody who encourages mediocrity. I am putting effort into my skills every day. So that's what will make you stand out at the end of the day. You can't come out and be posting content on on empty head. So please eat before you come and give to us. Make sure you are feeding on something good. Have a mentor, which is something we need to say. Have a mentor, somebody who is actually guiding you so that your journey will be faster too. They can help you cross. I say get a mentor to avoid a torment, right? Otherwise you will cry. So and like all these guys, you will learn, you're going to learn in a hard way. So I don't want you to learn in a hard way. Thank you very much. Hilfin, please wrap it up. 2 minutes, we are out of here. People, thank you very much for waiting till now. Go ahead, man. Thanks.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you all for listening. And I'm really happy that I did this tonight, actually. So, okay. I'm gonna say one comment.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Your might, right? That's the might in the industry. Something in the tech industry that you discovered initially that you thought the tech industry was all about, but now that you are there, the secret is open to you. I've seen the bum of the chicken. So tell us about it.
Okay, so to wrap it up, right? I might
Mm.
just say like a little bit of advice and
Okay,
things
please.
that I know that you probably heard before, but I pray that the Holy Spirit makes it continue to sound in your ear from my mouth.
Amen.
Please don't give up. Don't give up.
Mm,
Yes,
mm,
don't.
mm.
Don't give up. If there's something telling you to give up at the back of your mind, cast and bind,
Village
destroy.
people.
Don't give up. There is opportunity for you. That's one thing I want you to know. There is definitely opportunity for you. You just have to keep pressing. Keep pressing. Don't give up. And there was one thing I said, don't underestimate the power of showing up. It might not be working now, but it will eventually work. Right? Don't. Keep learning every day. There are new things in your niche. There are new things coming up every day. Don't stop. Make sure that you are growing. Like a book I read, it says that make sure that every day that you spend should be a stepping stone to a better life for you.
Mm,
Yes. Thank God I remembered. Yes. So every day that you are spending, every minute, every second, make sure they count. Make sure they count. Make sure that you're stepping up, you're moving forward, you're learning, you're practicing, you're pushing yourself, and you're resting too, because I know that we can overwork ourselves, but in the course of all of this, rest and play. So I
Thank
think
you
that's
very much. Thanks a lot for the time, people. And this is where we end it. Thank you for honoring our invite. Really appreciate your time. And again, we'd love to do this again and again. However, we allow you rest. So, people, we're sorry for taking 10 minutes of your time. Do have a great night. Meet you in the community and take care of yourself.